And
the voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 20th day of October 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, we urge you, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Always remember that the life you save may just be your own. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you celebrated one over the past few days, belated happy birthday to you as well. We understand that Miss Norma McFarlane is celebrating a birthday today, so we want to wish her a happy birthday. And Miss Sadie Chalette will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow as well. And so in advance of her birthday, we want to wish her a happy one as well. And then, of course, on Friday, I'll wish her a belated happy birthday afterwards. So she will get a lot of airtime between now and tomorrow and after tomorrow as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. Those of you who are not feeling well and are either at home or at a medical facility, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. And of course, if you're in isolation or in quarantine as well, we hope that your situation will change rapidly and you will be able to again mingle with everyone within our society with whom you would wish to mingle with as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, ORRETT Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. Those calls can be made first starting with our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note. This morning, in the first half-hour segment of the show, we will be having a very, very important discussion. At some point in time, we'll have the phone lines open for you to talk about that as well. But for this half an hour, it will be exclusively geared towards talking about International Credit Union Day. And that's a huge celebration, not only throughout the world, but here in the Cayman Islands as well. And of course, you know, our credit union here in the Cayman Islands plays such an important role in the financial affairs of its members, assist in so many ways, especially in this day and age when there are many persons who are of the opinion that the commercial institutions in the Cayman Islands are really not gearing their business towards the individual customer, the small saver. So that is why we have our credit union, and that is why we will be celebrating International Credit Union Day tomorrow. So the conversation this morning is going to take place with Miss Nancy Whitaker, who is the marketing manager at our credit union, and Mr. Jordan Seymour Hodson, who is the credit risk officer. I just want to alert you to the fact that we will not be taking any applications on the air for loans. But if you want to know how to join the credit union, then certainly information will be provided for you with that as well. And at some point in time, we will give you a brief history of the International Credit Union Day as well. But meanwhile, I want to welcome my guests in the studio. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, tell us about International Credit Union Day here in the Cayman Islands.
Yes, so thank you so much for having us here today. So yes, every year the International Credit Union Day theme is set. This year's theme is Building Financial Health for a Better Tomorrow. This theme reflects how the credit union difference helps thousands of members borrow wisely, saving thousands of dollars in fees, and we'll speak a little bit more about that in a few more minutes, and provides an opportunity to access up to 95% financing on mortgages and 100% financing on land and car loans as well. So that's what this year's theme is about, is building financial health for a brighter tomorrow.
And talking about financial health, we have health challenges otherwise as well. And I'm sure that you will talk about how the credit union has been able to assist members in terms of those who have been severely impacted by COVID-19 as well. Yeah. So over to you, sir.
Morning.
Good morning again.
Thanks for having us, Mr. OC. It's a privilege to be here again, once again. Well, you touched the topic of those who were impacted by COVID-19 and how the credit union assisted them. Well, of course, when COVID-19 happened, of course, the credit union sprung right into action, and we asked for donations from our members who were able to source those funds, and those who were affected by COVID-19 that lost their jobs in the tourism sector, in different sectors as well that were heavily impacted by COVID-19. We gave out vouchers to help for food and stuff like that. So that's one way that we definitely helped those who were impacted by COVID-19. Our members, we tried to take very good care of our members, especially those who were less less fortunate at that time. So that's one way that we tried to help our members. And also another tactic that we did, or another strategy that we did, was to waive loans for like 3 or 4 months to help them get back on their feet and stuff like that, to assist them with any financial struggle they may be having. So those
would have been like loan payments?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So those are the two things that I can think of from the top of my head that we've done. We've done a lot more, but those are the two things that I can really say that we really pulled together and try to assist with our members with.
Now, we have seen the credit union grow from strength to strength to strength. We know where we came from with a small amount of money that was deposited by those founders of the credit union, and it has grown immensely since then. Can we talk a little bit about membership as well? Because we constantly hear persons inquiring about how they can become members of the credit union. Let's remind our listening and viewing audience of that as well.
Definitely. And before I get into the points of what you can do to become a member, for this International Credit Union Day, we do have a promotion out for new members. And this promotion would be is that join between the 18th and the 29th of October, and your name will be entered into a drawing to win one of two $500 share certificates. So if you had intentions to open up an account with a credit union but just did not get that opportunity to do it, definitely do it in October. You have that little extra added incentive to open. But yes, to be a member of the credit union, it is really actually an easy process. Of course, we're a bonded credit union. So in order for you to become a member, you need to be an employee of the Cayman Islands government, a statutory authority, utility company, or a family member of an immediate family. And we define a family member as a immediate mother, father, brother, siblings,
sister.
so forth. Now, keep in mind, some people may think, I don't have an immediate family member that has an account there. But, you know how we are in Cayman. Your granny may have an account, so we know your uncle 3 times removed. We can find that connection for you.
Yes.
That's the good thing about credit union. We're a growing organization. We have over 16,000 members now, which is amazing considering we started off with just our 7 founding members.
Yes.
So we have grown. We are amazing, powerful. I say amazing a lot, so I want to apologize for that. But we are a great, powerful organization. So definitely, if you're considering to become a member, this is the time to do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about financial responsibility as well, because not only we there was a saying in the Cayman Islands that the commercial institutions, commercial banks, you could get a loan for a car easier than you could get a loan for a house or a piece of land. So you end up at the end of the day having to sleep in your car if you if you don't have. But they made it quite easy, and of course that part of their business process that they have. They know where they're geared towards making profits for their shareholders and doing that in as quickly a manner as possible. But let's talk about the values of the credit union, and not only do they encourage you to borrow, but how they encourage you to save as well. And let's talk about the concept of member helping member.
Right. So there are a lot of things that set the credit union apart from other institutions. And you're right. The credit union is all about members helping members. So everything that we do is for the benefit of our members. Yeah. So just to give you some examples of the credit union difference, there's so many of them. When it comes to loans, you had mentioned loans, how it was easier to actually get a vehicle loan. The credit union offers up to 95% financing for mortgages.
Yeah.
Now, that means that once you have enough equity in the property, you may not even need a down payment. So your dreams are achievable at the credit union. So I know we've heard a lot of younger members, saying, I really want a home. I dream of owning my first property. Yeah. And they don't have that down payment. Yeah. The credit union, you may not even need it, And,
a lot of people also rely on their pension to even purchase a home, to use that as a down payment. And in this case, with us offering up to 95% financing, that might not even be an option. And that can be money that you can save towards retirement as well. Right. And again, also what Ms. Nancy mentioned, we are a savings and lending institution. So we also encourage you to save, not just lend, or to borrow. So the more you save with us is not just benefiting the credit union, it's also benefiting you in the long run.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. We still have to talk about the day itself tomorrow, but we want people to know about the credit union as well. So this early discussion is extremely important in terms of setting the foundation as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Joseph Melvin Goring, 1913 to 1991. Melvin Goring was commonly known as Melly, Papa, to his grandchildren. He was a quiet, unobtrusive, yet strict man. He did his best to make sure that he did all that was needed, including going to sea from the 1930s to the 1950s, spending sometimes a year away from his wife and 4 children in order to support the family. When his sailing days were over, he went on to serve his country in the 1970s as a member of the Legislative Assembly for Georgetown. He loved his children deeply, and as he lived next door to his eldest son, he saw them every day. A carpenter by nature, he built models of catboats and schooners and playhouses for his grandchildren. Anyone who never had the opportunity to have an old-fashioned double-seat swing built by him was unfortunate. Everyone knew Melly as the son of Old Man Goring, the teacher for whom Goring Avenue is named. He was a die-hard and devoted citizen of his beloved Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza 2021 tickets are here. Get your $25 ticket and stand a chance to win the grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, and 6 $1,000 prizes. The Music Extravaganza music event, Saturday, November 27th at Salty's Grand Harbor, featuring CNB, Deja Blue, The Fabulous 68s. Tickets now on sale by Rotary members, authorized ticket sellers, and at eventpro.ky. 26 years of Rotary Music Extravaganza, funding over 70 community projects of significance since 1995. Rotary Central, Cayman Islands. Registered not-for-profit number 232. Rotary Central. Serve to change lives.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12.
But you look relaxed. That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're talking about International Credit Union Day, and it will be celebrated in the Cayman Islands as well. That discussion has taken place with the marketing manager of the Cayman Islands Credit Union, Civil Service Credit Union, Miss Nancy Whitaker. Also with us, Mr. Jordan Seymour Hodson, who's the Credit Risk Officer. And to remind you that the theme for International Credit Union Day this year is Building Financial Health for a brighter tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. And there are those for whom a brighter tomorrow will be a possibility because of the work of our local credit union here. Back over to you, folks.
That's right. So to speak a little bit more about tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we will be celebrating International Credit Union Day. So we will not be holding our traditional big thing in the parking lot that we have traditionally held in the past. We want to protect everybody from COVID. So we are going to be celebrating in a more virtual type of way. So we've started our celebrations off from Monday. Yep. So we have a couple events going on. Some of them are ongoing and some are coming up. The first thing that we're doing is fun, challenging quizzes. Now, this is always a big hit for our members. We send out a survey, our quiz to our members saying, how well do you know your credit union? And they have a chance to win big, win cash. So we have that ongoing. Then we also have a drive called Outfits for Opportunities. That is where we're asking our members to donate some clothing, work attire clothing for underemployed and unemployed persons so that they have some proper work clothing when they do go back into the working field.
Excellent.
And the bins are at our office right at the entrance, so we're accepting them all week. Yeah. We have our new account drive, which we spoke about earlier on. And tomorrow, actually, International Credit Union Day, we have a really fun competition where you wear your credit union colors, which is blue and yellow, and take a selfie and upload it onto social media, Facebook and Instagram, tagging in the credit union, which is Credit Union KY. And you have a chance to win for individual photos, $500 cash, and for group photos, $750. So make it fun, share your credit union colors, and share that credit union excitement about International Credit Union Day. Okay. And we also have, this is my most favorite thing, a financial seminar. We have 2 of them taking place tomorrow. That's an opportunity for you to learn what the credit union difference is. Yes. And that will take place at 12:30 and at 5 p.m. So make sure you visit our website and pre-register to save a spot. If you don't get a chance to pre-register, it's okay. We will have all that information up on our website about how you can actually join that seminar.
Okay, and that's by Zoom or something, or
yes, by Zoom.
By Zoom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we can't forget the youth either, because there's also an essay competition for the youth, ages 10 to 17. So this year, the youth have the opportunity to choose their topics. So we have 2 topics here: why the credit union is special, how has the credit union helped your family? And of course, there are also cash prizes for that as well. So first prize is $500, second prize is $250, and then of course third prize is $150. So the youth also can participate with International Credit Union Day with their local credit union.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I remember my first loan with credit union, 1985, $15,000 to buy a piece of land. And I still have that piece of land, that property today. So,
and the value $15,000,
right? And I joined, because one of my work colleagues, my coworkers, encouraged me, to join the credit union.
Yeah.
So that was good as well. And we want to remind you that Talk Today will be broadcasting live from the credit union tomorrow as well, from 12:15 until 2:30. We will be there. All excited to be there as well. Let's talk about a few more technical issues. As far as the credit union is concerned, can you describe the difference between shares and savings, and also talk about the financial responsibility that the credit union has to take? So even though we've spoken about how convenient you try to make it for members, people to join, at the same time you have statutory obligations that you have to observe as well. So let's talk about those.
Well, you touched the topic with the difference between the savings and the shares. So our savings account, doesn't operate like a normal commercial bank does. So you won't get charged any stamp duty fees or anything like that, or any operating fees or transaction fees or anything like that. It's totally free. And then, of course, you can access your savings, your funds from your savings account by our ATMs, using your ATM card. If you haven't got one, visit our member services department and they'll issue an ATM card.
And my understanding with that also is that you intend on having additional ATMs.
Yes, it's in the works. It is in the works. It's in the works. And then, of course, our shares account now, that is a very, very helpful tool with our members as well, because that is a savings tool that we encourage our members to contribute monthly, especially if they're borrowing from us as well. So that shares account is also used in instances where I need to pay the plumber because I have an emergency. So you have access to $5,000 in your shares account, hypothetically speaking. You don't necessarily have to take out the physical cash from that. You can borrow against that, and you can set your own term for that loan, and you can pay, I think, depending on what the amount is, you can pay the lowest amount that you can towards that loan to pay it off at your convenience with a fixed rate.
And how quickly can you get that?
Instantly. Once you go to one of our tellers, they'll have you fill out the form, you sign it, you go through the terms and conditions of it, you sign it, they process it, and you get the funds. That's
almost as quick as what some people on the Mile Road would say about the commercial banks here, that those persons who come in on a work permit, they get a loan right away. So I'm really, jabbing below the belt this morning.
And we also have the financial responsibility for making sure that we are compliant with our regulators that have mandated certain policies and procedures for us to adhere to. So yes, it's somewhat easy to join membership with the credit union, but just bear in mind that we have our obligations as well that we have to be compliant with our regulators. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, and any, we have about a minute left, so I want to give you an opportunity for some final comments. And what we don't cover today, we'll cover tomorrow.
I just want to touch base again in terms of financing. Just remember that we offer up to 95% financing and 100% financing on vehicle loans and land loans. And of course, there are no legal fees. There's no stamp duty on registration of charged documents from 1 to 1.5%. There's no commitment fees. There's a fixed interest rate, and you can get a mortgage up to 35 years, and you get an interest rebate back on whatever interest you pay within each year that you have your loan with the credit union.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
And don't forget the dividends. We pay dividends on your shares account.
AGM coming up soon.
AGM coming up soon.
Okay, Miss Nancy, any final comments?
So yes, just want to thank you again for having us here, and thank you to all the listeners for welcoming us into your homes and vehicles this evening. And definitely visit our website, which is www.CICSA-creditunion.org for more information on all of our competitions and the excitement that comes with International Credit Union Day. And wear your blue and yellow tomorrow and tag yourself on social media.
Okay. Okay, folks, thank you all very much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Listeners, viewers, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the Leader of Opposition, Honorable Roy Borden, and Roy McTaggart, sorry, I brought Mr. Roy Borden back into politics again. Roy McTaggart will be in the studio with us, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
It's time to live well with Foster's and CG Brit K.
Live Well is your source for recipe ideas and lifestyle tips to help you achieve your healthy living goals.
Head to livewell.fosters.ky and discover plant-based recipes, techniques to relieve stress, and exercises for your home workout routine.
Plus, you'll also find our latest Live Well recipe.
This week, we have broccoli tater tots full of fresh, affordable ingredients.
Get started at livewell.fosters.ky.
Live Well with Foster's and CG Brit K.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We are here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm Shanda Gallego with your latest news. The COVID-19 vaccination clinic has opened its next phase of booster shots for those aged 50 and over. Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Samuel Williams Rodriguez, says they are pleased with the rollout of the booster program to date and now extend the opportunity for persons aged 50 and above to enhance their immunity against COVID-19. He adds, with community transmission now in the islands, anyone eligible is encouraged to come forward and protect themselves. It's Older Persons Month, and this time around, the focus is on cybersecurity.
Here in the Cayman Islands, we celebrate throughout the entire month of October the immense contributions of our older people in laying the foundations of what we all enjoy today. During the COVID pandemic, there has been an acceleration in moving our services online. Sometimes this may be difficult for older people to get to grips with.
In a promotion video on the CIGTV YouTube channel, His Excellency the Governor Martin Roper says older people are targets of online scams, often falling victim.
If in doubt, it is always best to double check with someone else, perhaps a family member or a friend. As part of Older Persons Month, we will be promoting cyber-safe awareness for older people in the community so that we embrace digital inclusion for all.
Mr. Roper says it's better to be cyber safe than sorry. In other local news, 10 Cayman Islands government officers from 3 different emergency service agencies recently completed their Level 4 ILM Strategic Incident Gold Command Certificate. Here's CICTV's Simon Boxall with more.
The officers had earned their certificates earlier this year by successfully completing a Strategic Incident Command course. They learned the principles of the Joint Emergency Service Interoperability Program, also known as JESIP. This was followed by a 3-hour simulated multi-agency incident command assessment. At the brief presentation ceremony, participants from across the civil service, including the fire service, the police, the prison service, had rave reviews, citing in particular the program's focus on the interconnectedness of emergency services. The fire service hosted the training and plans to offer the program again in future years.
That's CIGTV's Simon Boxall there. Turning to regional news now, the United States on Tuesday vowed to do all in its power to free U.S. and Canadian missionaries taken hostage in Haiti after kidnappers demanded U.S. $1 million for each of the group of 17. A gang known as 400 Mowozo has been identified as behind the kidnapping of the group, which includes 5 children, on Saturday. We now turn to the BBC with a check of international news. That's it from me. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm Shanda Gallego.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. 2 attacks in Syria, one in Damascus and the other in rebel-held Idlib, have killed at least 27 people. A rare bombing in the Syrian capital struck a military bus this morning, killing at least 14 people. It's the deadliest attack in Damascus since 2017. A Brazilian congressional panel meeting in the next hour is expected to recommend that President Bolsonaro be charged with various offences, including murder by omission and crimes against humanity. He stands accused of failing to take the pandemic seriously, despite the deaths of more than 600,000 Brazilians. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has, with immediate effect, lifted the nationwide curfew imposed in March last year to try to curb the spread of coronavirus. Mr. Kenyatta said the move could be taken because of the progress made in containing the virus. Russia says the Taliban must live up to international expectation on human rights if they want to be recognised by governments around the world. Russia's special envoy to Afghanistan said the UN should call an international donor conference. President Putin will not attend the UN climate summit starting in Glasgow in 10 days' time. The Kremlin did stress that addressing climate change was one of Russia's top foreign policy priorities. There's been no indication that President Xi Jinping of China, the largest greenhouse contributor, will be going to COP26 either. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June, 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Brit-K. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm, and coverage for the cost of clearing debris, hiring surveyors, architects, and more. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
During October, the Department of Children and Family Services celebrates Older Persons Month. As part of this year's theme, Digital Equity for All, the DCFS will be offering classes for those over 65 on how to better use their phones. Modern phones can do so much. Learn to take great pictures, connect and stay in touch with your loved ones, and how to take care of your banking and errands. Workshops on these topics are being held throughout the Older Persons Month at the Older Persons Active Aging Center. Please call 949-0290 to book your spot. That is 949-0290.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 86%. Barometric pressure 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh northeasterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system builds over the southeast United States. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman Islands, moving west to northwest. The forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers and some thunder, and temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Today's high tide will be this morning at 9:23, low tide this afternoon at 3:22, and a high tide again tonight at 8:54. The sun will set this evening at 5:57 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:22. And the outlook is calling for a decrease in winds and seas from Thursday morning as the high-pressure system moves over the central Atlantic Ocean. Further east, a tropical wave over the eastern Caribbean is expected to approach the Cayman area by Friday afternoon, supporting an increase in cloudiness and showers.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, have a deadline. Procrastination is common in human nature. Setting a time to review the work helps to increase motivation because you know that you have to have it done by a certain time. This also ensures that you slow down to review progress. Consider rewards if things are going well. If things are not going as well as you would like, a deadline gives you a chance to pause and reflect on the current goal to see if there may be something getting in the way of being able to get it done.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Coming from the east, traffic steady but flowing on the Linford Pearson Highway and off of Shamrock Road. Moderate flow of traffic on Hulton Avenue and Elgin Avenue. As we look to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is move along steadily in both directions. And coming from the West Bay four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic and traffic flowing moderately on North Sound Road. On Shedden Road, pretty much the same, traffic flowing at a good pace. Light to moderate traffic flow on Owen Roberts Drive. And on Cool Road, some sections steady, other section moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and click it or ticket.
At Subway, we caramel a lot about our customers, so we decided to give you 2 treats in one with the new Caramel Apple Cookie. Enjoy cinnamon apples, caramel bits, and salted caramel crunch baked in, and topped with a drizzle of caramel-flavored icing. Gooey, crunchy, and yummy. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious Caramel Apple Cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert, available for a limited time at all Subway locations. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
You can now register to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the My HSA patient portal. Sign up is available at all HSA locations and at various sites throughout the community. To register, all you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and a valid email address. Visit hsa.ky and click My HSA Patient Portal for the sign-up schedule and more information.
The 9th Annual Cayman Islands District Wesleyan Youth Convention is from October 20th to the 24th at Craddock Ebank Civic Center in Northside. This year's theme is On Course with God. Hashtag Living My Best Life.
Living my best life.
Featuring Naomi Jonathy, Caitlin Bush, Donnie McCoy, Pastor Dolman Bodden, Donna Mitchell, Brian Watler Jr., and much, much more.
Nightly services begin at 7:30 p.m. and from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday the 23rd. Buses are available island-wide and all services will be streamed live on the North Side Wesleyan Holiness Church Facebook page.
Call Cassandra Ebanks on 925-1930 or Pastor Conway King on 916-5372 for further information. The first 25 persons to sign up will receive a free conference t-shirt compliments of Ollie.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Individuals requiring letters to their employers confirming they have been placed in mandatory isolation due to ongoing COVID-19 contact tracing requirements can obtain these by request to Public Health. Please request by email only to quarantine@hsa.ky.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, not Mr. Roy Bodden, but the Honorable Roy McTaggart, Leader of the Opposition. Also in the studio with me, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Joey Hugh. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I know you have a limited amount of time to be with us this morning. You'll have to leave early again because of commitments down at our Parliament, but happy to have you here.
Good morning, and thank you, OC, for having us again this morning, and good morning to the listening public. Fantastic and beautiful morning, I must say. I was out early in the garden this morning and really enjoying the break in the rain. I enjoyed the rain, but I'm enjoying the break in the rain at the moment, and another beautiful day here in paradise, as we say.
And again, thank you to OC. Pleasure to be back here with you as always, and look forward to some interesting conversation this morning with you.
Definitely.
And, it is a beautiful day out, so
yes,
I'm going to enjoy it.
And can we remind our listening audience that the phone lines will be open in the event that they have? Do you need any time that you want to talk about something in particular before we open up the phone lines?
Go ahead.
Thank you, OC. I think we obviously there was a press release that went out yesterday evening by the leader, and we are all eagerly anticipating the government press conference, like the entire country is. Yes. In fact, I might say people around the world are, if you look at all of the inquiries on social media, etc. Mm-hmm. And this is we had a few concerns, and actually perhaps we might even want to call those suggestions that we released yesterday, and questions that we are receiving as representatives.
Yes.
That we put in that press in our press release yesterday, and we're hoping that the government in their press conference, I don't think they've announced the exact time as yet, will be able to, or will have the answers to these questions that we are receiving and concerns that we are receiving across our constituencies in their plans, in their future plans for the reopening of the country. And as we sit here over the last few weeks, and yourself, I'm sure, on this show, listen to some of the concerns persons have, some of the struggles people are having with quarantine and getting information. We just feel and we hope that going forward that the government can be as open and as informative and in fact, I would even go as far as saying in confidence in their information that will go across the board or be received across the board by the country as something that people can rely on, that people can feel that, okay, we're moving in a direction, the government has us in control, and we have confidence in them. We have confident leadership that will get us through this, will get our borders open, and will protect our people.
I think what public are asking for right now, OC, above all else, is for clarity in this. No messing around, no caveats and stuff. They're really looking now for something concrete that you can really hang your hat on, and important decisions can be taken with regard to the rest of the country preparing for that day. We've been here now almost 2 years in the pandemic, and it's not going anywhere. It's going to be with us clearly for many years, and I think as a country we are at the point now where I think we all realize we can live with it, and we have to learn to live with it and move forward now. We just cannot keep in this situation forever, and people I think are really looking for some clear direction and clear policies and ideas from the government with regard to the reopening.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the numbers in terms of vaccination, the fact that booster shots are now available as well, you feel that we're in a better position to be more deliberate and to have clarity in terms of the direction that we're going to go as far as the reopening is concerned?
Well, as far as the information that we have before us, yes.
Uh-huh.
And this is something we've been saying. We've said it on the floor of the Parliament. We have said it publicly. If there are other concerns, then please let us know.
Yeah.
And perhaps we will might go as far as saying temper our position. But we don't know. We have no further information. All we have heard, the only indication I got, which I hope they were it was late at night, in fact. But I heard on the Parliament floor on at least 2 occasions where the government said, "What's wrong for going after 100% vaccination rate?" That's a dream, absolutely, but that's not practical. And I believe and I think that I have enough confidence in the government that is not what they're trying to achieve, is a 100% vaccination rate before reopening the country. So we have reached the targets and milestones that we had projected, and we had said that this is where we would feel comfortable opening the border. Mm-hmm. We've passed those. We've now also passed the targets that they had set for themselves using the figures that they had set. And so now we just want to know what is next. And it is, I think, people, even those who are not in support of opening the borders at the moment, would just rather know, are we doing it or are we not doing it? Because so I can get myself prepared. And of course, those who are anxious, for the borders open for various reasons. People are concerned, will my children be spending Christmas in isolation? Do I need to spend Christmas with them in isolation when they return home from university or schooling overseas? And then, of course, people that their lives are dependent on the tourism industry, and they're trying to prepare themselves, plan how much longer can I sit and wait, how many times can I pay a mortgage on a boat or a store or whatever the case may be. Everyone is trying to plan their lives in one way, shape, or the other, and I think that's what we need to know. Like, if the goalposts have been moved again, what have they been moved to, and how can we prepare best for that? And of course, there were a lot of other questions within the press release from yesterday in regards to how will you manage the opening, and those are just the things we think should be the government should at this point be able to tell the country.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, but in your release yesterday, part of it you said, however, we have also been clear that the reopening must be well planned, coordinated, and credibly communicated. I'm going to ask you if you can be more specific in terms of what it is that you would like to see in terms of that credibility, credible communications, in terms of what do you mean by well planned? What do you mean by well coordinated as well? Folks, please stay tuned. The conversation with the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, and Deputy Leader, the Honourable Joe Hugh, will continue, so please stay tuned.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
The Department of Commerce and Investment is asking clients to use their online services at www.dci.gov.ky for trade and business amendments, grant and renewal applications, and more. While the DCI counters remain open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, you can stay safe, avoid the line, and save time by applying online for business services at dci.gov.ky. For questions about the DCI's online service or other licensing enforcement or regulatory matters, please email info@dci.gov.ky. Individuals requiring letters to their employers confirming they have been placed in mandatory isolation due to ongoing COVID-19 contact tracing requirements can obtain these by request to Public Health. Please request by email only to quarantine@hsa.ky.
The nomination period for the 2022 National Heroes Day, honoring our uniformed services, has been extended by 1 week. The new deadline for submissions is now midnight, Saturday, the 23rd of October, 2021. Through your nomination, we will have the opportunity to honor the outstanding men and women of our uniformed services that help guard and protect our country. Nomination forms are available online at celebratecayman.ky, and hard copies are at the receptions of the Government Administration Building in Grand Cayman or District Administration in Cayman Brac. Only nominations received by the deadline will be considered. For more information, call 244-2426 or email nhd@gov.ky.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. what is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition. Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Joey Hugh. Yesterday, the opposition issued a release. Leader of the Opposition calls for clarity on reopening plan, and in that call, I will read verbatim one paragraph. I think it would be important to read two to make the connections between the other one and the questions that I raised earlier. We in the opposition fully support the objective of reopening the Cayman Islands to visitors. We must reopen, and of that there is no doubt. We have been clear that as sufficient numbers of our population become fully vaccinated and the boosters are made available to those in the community who will need them, we should normalize our economy by reintroducing tourism to our islands. However, we have also been clear that the reopening must be well planned, coordinated, and credibly communicated to the public. This is a time for clarity from our government. So, what are your expectations in terms of it being well planned, coordinated, and credibly communicated as well, gentlemen?
Yeah. Well, my view, OC, is that this, whatever their plans are and whatever they announce this week in terms of a date for reopening and the overall plan for it. Let's talk about being credibly communicated. I don't think there can be any wishy-washiness here. Now, people are looking for something definite from them, and they're looking for something that they can look forward to with certainty as to when things will take place. The coordination part really stems around making sure that all agencies, whether they be public sector or private sector organizations, are well coordinated and well planned. And in particularly, we need to ensure that our public health and HSA services provided there, they are all ready, that they have sufficient, whatever it is, whether it's PPE or equipment, everything else in place, because the numbers of infections are likely to increase once you open the border. That's a given. Mm-hmm. It will continue. So it is extremely important, we believe, that they are ready for it, and that we don't continue to have some of the hiccups that you have right now as well. In what you're seeing now with the current system that we have, where people are in quarantine through no fault of their own, and they are having really difficulties in getting support and help that they need. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is critical, that we address those shortcomings and those failures there in the immediate time period. And because I think once you open your borders, it's going to be difficult really to have a quarantine system in place. So that will be done away with. But here we have, I know that they are the demands are great, but what I am seeing now as a representative is the numbers of calls I'm getting, requests from people for help and assistance because they have been placed in quarantine, totally unanticipated, and they have reached out for help, but there are long delays or no help being given at all. And we are then called upon as representatives of them to assist. And we continue to respond to those requests on a regular basis. But, it seems to me that when we went into this, that, we're several weeks into it now, in fact, more than a month, well over a month into it right now, and you are still finding a lot of these issues that are creeping in, are there and exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And there's just so many things, and I think I spoke quite a bit about it in the last during Parliament about having a well thought out plan, and I drew reference to the NHS's plan in the UK. Interestingly enough, this morning, and I read out, what that plan was. It was a basic overview, and then they had details later on about opening up and what the benchmarks are, and then there was also a plan B, so that people knew that if this fails, and these benchmarks are reached on infections or hospitalizations or persons are not following the guidelines, then we will have to enact Plan B. And I just saw this morning that on BBC there was a headline saying that UK government considering and NHS is considering moving to Plan B. So, it's a much bigger country. I appreciate that. But the idea is that at least there is a plan. Everyone can refer to that and look at it and say, okay, this is what's happening. But if this fails, or if we get to these benchmarks, then Plan B, and then here's Plan B. So if you were to go on the NHS site, you'll find their regulations, their guidelines, and then you'll find that if these fail or we reach this, or then we go to Plan B, and they have those set out as well. And in that covers a variety of things. The leader spoke about persons in this current quarantine regime, which I think is now starting to backfire, because people are not, if their kid is sick, they're not testing them. They're not sending them to school, which is the right thing to do, but they're not testing them, because you're talking about shutting down families. You're talking about shutting down businesses. People are afraid to go to the hospital for other things because they're going to be tested at the hospital, and they're concerned. I'm going to lock down my business. I'm going to lock down my workplace. I'm going to lock down my family and extended family. If I go because I don't think my heart is, feels good, I'm going to be tested for COVID. And if I'm positive, it's going to impact such a wide range of persons. And I don't think that is sustainable. But even then, as the leader spoke about persons, they now have the Minister for Health reached out to us last week, and I appreciate that, and I thank her for that, and provided us with a flu hotline number. I just forwarded it to you on WhatsApp. Yes, and an email that if persons need groceries, then they would send it on to the Red Cross, and the Red Cross would deliver the groceries. We're finding that everybody's needs are different. Some kids are on special formula, different size kids, things of that nature. But what I would also recommend to the government, if they are listening, is also provide the Red Cross or whomever, those persons who have been affected and ask for help, provide them with some CUC and some water company vouchers as well, water authority. These are the issues, people. I have a family of 4 that are without power. I have a family of 3 who the kids are now being homeschooled, but their internet got cut off yesterday. So, the kids can't school anymore because they don't have any internet. And then both parents are home and not bringing in an income because they can't go to work. So these are the little things that if we continue this sort of quarantine regime for those that test positive and all of those around them that have been in contact with them, then we need to set up real-time help for these persons. There's also the issue of that's not at the forefront of this OC, and that is, and I think has been exasperated now by the recent changes to the border control law, where work permit holders have to have vaccines. There are work permit holders and Caymanians who maybe who need protection in the workplace. They may be immune compromised. They may have other underlying conditions that they cannot take the vaccine. But there's no guidance in the regulations, and the public health guidance notes nothing and there's no protection otherwise for those employees. So they are now facing the question of risking their lives to go to work or risking their livelihood. And the majority of the people I'm talking about at the moment are Caymanians who are being given this choice by their employers. So when we were in the shelter-in-place regime, there was guidance, because I remember dealing with that during that time. It was not ironclad, but there was guidance in there for employers saying that if your employee is not key and can work from home and cannot, et cetera, then you should afford them that opportunity. But we have Caymanians now who are immune compromised, cannot take the vaccine on doctor's orders, who are working in open floor plans where their co-workers are not wearing masks around the desk, and they're told, choose between risking your life or your livelihood. So those things have to also be spelled out. We have to have protection in there for everyone, because we are admitting, we are accepting. The two things we're all accepting is we cannot stay closed forever, and when we do open, there'll be a rise in infections. So if that is the case, then we need to take matters like this, such matters like these, into consideration.
Any suggestions in relation to what the utility companies, including the phone companies, can do? How can they work with government to address those persons who are actually in isolation? Because you want to also ensure that it's not a situation that is taken advantage of in terms of extending the period of time that they pay their bills and things of that nature. Any suggestions there?
That's a fantastic
how that could work?
Question, because when we were in the shelter-in-place regime, we called the utility companies in. We sat with all of them and we said, what can you do? And they publicly said, we will do 3 months or we will do this. But remember, it has to be paid.
Yes.
Right? It's not free. So, the government could very easily contact them, call them in and say, now that persons, if it's working, I haven't heard yes or no, but there isn't, you can send for, or you can email, or you can request a letter from public health now saying that you are in quarantine. That was not there before, and that is now being provided. So that's a good move by the government, and I thank them on behalf of my constituents for that. So perhaps now the government could reach out to the utility companies, the water companies, CUC, the telephone companies, and say, can you please be, if a person provides you with this letter that they're in quarantine due to no fault of their own, can you extend them an extra month, or can you let us know, or there's several ways they can deal with it, but it needs to happen quickly. Like I said, it's a matter of persons without electricity. There's matters of persons without internet, and their kids are supposed to be homeschooling. These are not things that you can go to NAU and fill out an application and wait 6 weeks for. Yes. As much respect as I have for the persons at NAU, and I can tell you I have a fantastic working relationship with them there, I understand their restrictions and their struggles as well. So they can't just dump this in NAU. They need to take this and put it somewhere else. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. A conversation with Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, and Deputy Leader, Honourable Joey Hugh, will continue after this short commercial break.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough, and sore throat to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamped Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Avoid contact with standing water and floodwaters during and after a storm to prevent exposing yourself to serious health risks, including infectious diseases, chemical hazards, and injuries. As an added precaution, your emergency kit should also include personal safety equipment such as rubber boots and gloves. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
During October, the Department of Children and Family Services celebrates Older Persons Month. As part of this year's theme, Digital Equity for All, the DCFS will be offering classes for those over 65 on how to better use their phones. Modern phones can do so much. Learn to take great pictures, connect and stay in touch with your loved ones, and how to take care of your banking and errands. Workshops on these topics are being held throughout the Older Persons Month at the Older Persons Active Aging Centre. Please call 949-0290 to book your spot. That is 949-0290.
Individuals requiring letters to their employers confirming they have been placed in mandatory isolation due to ongoing COVID-19 contact tracing requirements can obtain these by request to Public Health. Please request by email only to quarantine@hsa.ky.
For the record with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Joey Hugh. They're going to be here until 9:30. We have about 10 minutes before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return from headline news, we will open the phone lines up so that if you have any questions or comments or observations for the leader or his deputy, you can do so as well. I remind you the toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call 949-8037, 949-6990. Email for the record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Gentlemen, back over to you.
Thank you, O.C. So I think I was just finishing up there on the particular issue of a well-thought-out plan. So I think that, there has just been so many, we're opening, we're not opening, we're opening, we're not opening. There's been a lot of lessons learnt. And as the Premier often says, there's no playbook in it. And I said that before. I said, as a minister, facing a hurricane is one thing because most of us have faced that already. We know how to deal with it. When we faced an earthquake, I had no idea what to do. A major earthquake like that was my second one. I think we had one after Ivan, and all I was concerned about was my immediate family. And so there were lessons learnt there about dealing with sinkholes and checking structures and that sort of stuff. For us, even as a government, dealing with COVID, that was the first time for us as well. But what you have to do is you can't lead people on. You have to be clear with people. Just like when we reopen the economy, you say to people, they may dislike it, but you say to them, this is what's going to happen. We're going to open this section first, then this section. If we maintain our infection rates, we did not have vaccines back then. And then we'll open this section and we'll open this section. We did that through testing and checking. And once we were at 80%, 90% negatives, we were moving forward with the opening plan. Now, people didn't like it. I remember particularly gyms beauty salons, they did not like the plan because they were at the end of it. And that was based on advice given to us by the experts that these are much more intimate environments and very, very prone to transmitting these diseases. So let's make sure as we go along that we keep our infections rate down before we open those. And we did it over a 3-month period, and somebody had to be at the end, and they were. But they knew that, right? And they could plan on that. And they got all their plexiglasses done, and they trained their staff on how to deal, how to operate under with the infection in the community. So these are the things that if you have a plan set out, that everyone can prepare. Individuals can prepare themselves. Families can prepare what they're going to do with their kids, etc. Businesses can prepare themselves to reopen or to ramp up their business or to close their business, whatever it may be.
Plus, it gives allows that opportunity for people or entities to lobby the government and say, well, here's one of the plans that you have in place. We don't like this, and here is why we think that this would work as opposed to that.
And we got a lot of that, and we learned a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think I referenced here being in the trenches during the entire time. We would always have our regulations prepared, and it might delay the press conference. But that was another thing. We continue to stay in the public's view. We continue to answer the tough questions. We continue to inform the public on a weekly basis. But we would have our regulations ready. Then we would go down to the press conference, and quite often out of the press conference or comments from individuals after the press conference pointed out some errors in our regulations. We'd go back to the cabinet room, and we'd be there until 10 o'clock at night if needed to correct those or to discuss those and change those regulations. And then we have a Zoom call with everybody because we all weren't there, and then we agree and we publish them. What we're seeing now is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of information coming out of there's no plan, okay, and I understand that it's evolving, but I think we've had enough time now that we can put something out there. And then there hasn't been clear communication, has not been consistent. I can appreciate you being criticized for having not by us, but by the general public and by the press, that you're being criticized for having a press conference to announce another press conference. But that's part of it. You just got to stay out there in front. You got to inform people. You got to give people confidence. People are looking to you to feel confident about where we are as a country and about our future. And so they have to continue to do that and inform. They can't. I was dismayed, when I wake up on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning and people are asking me about regulations that were published late Friday night when they just had a press conference days before that and said nothing about these regulations. You can't do that sort of thing under these times. There's enough uncertainty. We're all feeling enough uncertainty to do those sorts of things.
Okay. Mr. Leader?
I really don't have anything else to add to what my deputy has had to say with regard to this. I think we really have pretty much exhausted it and talked about it for this OC. I did want some time though to talk about the Regen project, because again that's another area that we had had a press release a couple of weeks ago with regard to the Regen project.
Okay, well, we could start that after the news at 9 o'clock, because we only have 3 minutes. I don't know that if you want to get started. Otherwise, we could cover something else in the meantime. Up to you.
Yeah, well, I could maybe just sort of set the stage with this with regard to the Regen project. But I mean, everyone knows that that's the solid waste management system that we should be moving to. Uh-huh. And it was late September, end of September, really, that I wrote to the Premier about it, because I think back in September 1, when we were in Finance Committee, I had the opportunity to ask the Chief Officer in the Ministry of Health what the status was with regard to the Regen project and whether we were on track really to whether the project was on track with regard to progressing it, and she assured me at that time that it was. I was aware of the looming deadline with regard to the what I would call the long. There was a date in there that was agreed 6 months after the signing of the contract for the financial close to be completed. So I was aware of it, that this absolute stop date was there and needed to. And so I wrote to the Premier at the end of September, and I asked him whether they had completed it, whether the financial close had been completed. Yes. And among some other questions that I had raised with him as well. But the primary ones being the long stop date that was there. And the reason for the questioning, OC, was quite simple, that we knew that if they hadn't achieved it, it was important that they extend it if they truly are intent on proceeding with the project. Mm-hmm. There needed to be agreement to extend it, because you had multiple parties on the private sector side of it, because this is what we call a PPP, public-private partnership project. Right. You had multiple participants on that side who have made commitments and financial commitments and prices agreed and stuff, and you can only hold those things steady for so long. And so the real danger was that this date would lapse and nothing further would be done, and it falls apart. I asked about 5 or 6 questions of the Premier, and asked, knowing they were failing, it wasn't going to be signed on the 30th. I asked if they had agreed a date, an extension with DECO, who are the partners, and what details surrounding that extension and the cost implications, because those things would then naturally come into play in terms of the overall project, where as a result of failing to achieve the financial close, your costs actually go up when you do get around to completing it.
Point taken. Top of the hour, headline news. When we return, the conversation with the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Joey Hugh, will continue, so please stay tuned.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The COVID-19 vaccination clinic has opened its next phase of booster shots for those aged 50 and over. Health Services Authority officials announced Tuesday the clinically vulnerable remain eligible to receive boosters throughout all phases of the program. Those wishing to receive their first or second dose are free to attend the clinic at any time. Turning to international news now, a bomb attack on a military bus in central Damascus has killed 14 people, Syrian state media say. 2 explosive devices attached to the vehicle blew up as it passed under Jisr al-Rayz bridge during the morning rush hour. Although Syria has been embroiled in civil war for a decade, such attacks in the capital are increasingly rare. Russia's President Vladimir Putin will not attend the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, the Kremlin said on Wednesday. No reason was given for the decision not to attend, but a Kremlin spokesperson said climate change was an important priority for Russia. COP26 takes place in Scotland's largest city from October 31st to November 12th. And Queen Elizabeth II is resting at Windsor Castle after reluctantly accepting medical advice to cancel a trip to Northern Ireland planned for Wednesday and Thursday, Buckingham Palace has said. The 92-year-old UK monarch has been advised to rest for the next few days, the palace said in a statement. A source close to the palace told CNN that it is not COVID-related. Those are your latest headlines here on Radio Cayman. I'm Shanda Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Joey Hugh. Mr. Leader, over to you with the regen.
Yeah, thank you, Ocean. Thank you for allowing me to continue with that. So I did write to the Premier, and he did respond in not to me, but he responded by a media release that came out. I think not sure what the date was, but certainly did. There's no date there that I can see, but it was about a week later that from my first writing to him that he did give a response. But I mean, up to now, he has not said definitively whether they have agreed to an extension of the financial close conditions. He made some comments that that the date was at best, ambitious, and I respectfully have to disagree with that. There was nothing ambitious about it. It was an agreed position that was included in a signed agreement between all the parties. And so I think clearly there was things should have progressed following the signing, but it would appear to us as if that hasn't happened in light of all that has transpired. So the real concern here is that this is the only solution that we have for the dump, if I can put it in those terms.
Yes.
And the dump has a very limited lifespan left. If you see there now, that mound has now been covered, and they are now using the final spaces within the landfill in order to to accommodate all of the refuse that is heading in there every day, and they're having to shift things around in order to accommodate and to actively really manage it in order to accommodate it. So, I think in terms of this project, our backs are against the wall in terms of just the sheer timing of it. If we don't get this done and get it done within the time period, what is the alternative? What is Plan B with regard to it? So my position really is that this absolutely needs government's immediate attention to get it done, because I think in the time scale that was put forward back in March, the intent was that the project itself would commence in terms of construction in 2022. Now we know that all the other things that were number of things that were already in train that have continued, and I'm thinking specifically part of the requirement was to have an environmental impact assessment. That process continued throughout the summer, and there were public meetings held to allow the public to have input into what would be covered in the EIA and stuff, and so that was all done. And I know that project as well is now continuing. So a number of things continuing on in the background, but the important thing of achieving the financial close is one that I think is extremely important, because I think every day that we delay, it just means that the project is going to be more costly to the country.
So the fact that things still continue, like the environmental impact, assessment and study, that gives you then the confidence that the project will continue, and your concerns more are in terms of what lost time will have as far as the cost of the project is concerned.
Well, there is that, and I do have to chime in, OC, because this has been going on for decades, as everyone knows. But within our last administration, there was 4 years of preliminary works. It took 4 years to put together the RFP. Right? Then the RFP was sent out, and I must add that we were told during those 4 years that we could not get any details of the RFP because they wanted to remove the political arm from it so that there would be no question, because this is so important to the country. This is what the civil service said. So I learned about I learned about the successful bidder on the street before we heard it from the ministry at the time, because they wanted to insulate it from political interference in their views. So 4 years to get the RFP out, 2 years to get the contract signed, and then the work started. On on behalf of the people of Georgetown North, I am extremely grateful that the landfill is now predominantly capped, but we are concerned about the new landfill that is going in. And if you remember 12 years ago or whatever it is, not in Bodden Town. So my question is, on this EIA that we're waiting on, that includes things like traffic studies, there's no more traffic than what's happening there now. I mean, the same garbage trucks going in and out. We're putting in another road and another access. But things like that's kicking this project down the road. And all I can hear from some persons is, oh, it's just because Camana Bay is next door that they want it and this and that. What about my people in Washington Boulevard in the swamp right across from it? What about Georgetown Courts? What about Watlers Road or Dog City? What about Marbell Drive? What about Parkway? What about Whitehall Estates? All Caymanian communities. During the fire, Camana Bay was open. I was in Watlers Road and Lakeview Apartments and Georgetown Courts handing out masks, screaming at Red Cross to stay open or to open so people can go there. People were getting sick. It wasn't Camana Bay. It was Georgetown North proper. It was Watlers Road. It was Marbell Drive. I had to wet down. That's where I live. I had to wet down my roof so it didn't catch on fire. So when it was convenient to them, they were out there criticizing about, we're not doing anything with the landfill. Now they're saying we're doing it for the wrong reasons. But my reason for wanting to see this go forward is for the people of Georgetown North that suffer with the smell and that suffer when we have the fires.
Okay, we have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, and good morning to Leader of the Opposition, Mr. McTaggart, and the Deputy Leader, Mr. Hugh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a question. Mr. McTaggart.
Sure.
When the PPM government was in charge for the last 8 years, do you have any idea or do you know the amount of concessions that were given away?
I cannot give you a figure, but what I can tell you it is that it wasn't the hundreds of millions of dollars that was being published and being shouted out on social media platforms over what we were doing. We did give out some concessions. Caymanians as well as non-Caymanians benefited from those concessions, and so it was not as lopsided. The story is not as lopsided as has been put out there.
Also, I'd like to add that. It has been made public.
Yeah.
We released some information, and there was an FOI done, and that information was released, and it was not huge on the headlines because it did not it did not reveal the hundreds of millions that the public or was being led to believe. But the information is out there; it's all public right now. So I think. If you were to do a Google, you'll find it. I think the Compass did carry a story on it. Some of the other news outlets focused on one particular project, but it was not what the public thought was led to believe.
Wasn't salacious?
No.
Salacious as
No.
they wanted.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to remind you all, in case you all don't remember, there was a report in the newspaper from the Auditor General. And she said that all the concessions that have been given away, the Caymanians have nothing to show for it. Because all the promises that were given to the government and the Caymanian people were not kept by these people who were given these, you all gave away these concessions to. So that's my reason for asking the question.
You have the Auditor General report. Can you quote that for me?
No, I can't pinpoint that right now at this time, Mr. Hugh.
Okay.
I know
I'm not being facetious. I didn't remember seeing that, but if I'll look it up. I'll look it up myself.
Okay, because if they continue to give away the people's money, for example, they promised to allow Caymanians to build these places that are being built when it comes to construction. But if we don't have trade schools in place in order to have the amount of Caymanians needed, especially our young people, then there's not going to be any place for our young people to help build these places. And then they say, after the places are built, for example, hotels, that the Caymanians will be able to work there. I'll give you an example. A young lady at the age of 17 went to one of these new hotels, and she was working there, I think, maybe a few weeks. And her supervisor, who also was a Caymanian, because this young lady was speaking Caymanian accent, her supervisor asked her not to...
Caller, I'm going to ask you to get to the point. We have other callers on hold, and we only have about 15 minutes left. Can you make your point, please?
I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank the caller. See, there is a lot of you know, obviously there are still things that our immigration laws, our boards I think the boards and the laws are there. Perhaps it is the enforcement of it and representation of the employees across the board. But first of all, there has to be opportunities for employment. So you can't get opportunities for employment without having the hotels, without having the law firms, without having any of these industries. And then, yes, it is the government's responsibility to prepare our people for those opportunities. And then there are laws in place to protect our citizens in gaining that employment. And we did. The School of Hospitality study was done under our 8 years. That is free and available to anyone that is successful in applying. We even used to pay stipends for the transportation. We used to pay for babysitting for young mothers. We did everything possible so that persons had no excuses not to attend the courses. Mm-hmm. And we did struggle. We had a capacity of 50. We've never passed 30. By the end of the course, we're down into the low 20s. The School of the Public Works Training Center, mm-hmm. which this government was extremely instrumental and myself in doing, we've increased that to where up to 50 persons can now participate in that program. We built a purpose-built building for it. I turned around in the parking lot yesterday and looked at it and smiled to myself. They have the signage up and everything now at the Public Works compound. That's a very, very successful program.
Yeah, well subscribed.
We have well subscribed. We have young Caymanians going off to be architects, engineers. It is a partnership with the private sector. So we see them rising through the firms that are partnering with us. They're giving the Caymanians opportunities. They're giving them scholarships to further education, and there's a vast amount of other opportunities and for training being offered by UCCI. And I had an opportunity to listen to a presentation last week on that, and they are really, really ramping up their program there and opportunities for Caymanians to receive training. The nursing program, again, recognizing medical tourism as another pillar of the economy in the future. We ramped up the nursing program. We waived all fees, registration fees for the new nurses coming out of the program. We did everything possible to promote and to ensure that we had the opportunities there.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We're going to a commercial break. We have 2 callers on hold. We're going to make those the last 2 calls for the show as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Had a look at those investment options yet? Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed. That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Thank you, Cayman, for doing your part to help prevent the spread of COVID-19, for getting vaccinated, for practicing social distancing, for wearing your mask, for adhering to quarantine protocols, for the sacrifices you've made, and for stepping up in these tough times. The changes haven't been easy, but they are working. So, keep going and don't forget, we must protect those who cannot protect themselves. Visit www.gov.ky/coronavirus to learn more.
Now, more than ever, it's imperative that we work together to protect and preserve our environment. I mean, the environment is practically asking us to stop and change. Do your part by supporting the 3rd annual Enviro Walk and Run, hosted by the Miss World Cayman Islands pageant and Girl Power Limited. The 5K Walk Run takes place on Sunday, October 24th at Safe Haven. Sign up on EventPro or Race Caribbean with the entry fee only $25. Today is the perfect day to do your part to help save our environment and sign up for Enviro Walk.
For the record with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of this segment because the leader of the opposition and his deputy have to leave us at 9:30. We have 2 final calls. We're going to ask those callers to please Callers to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen. Dr. Frank here.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Honorable Jerry Hugh, I was I thought when you were speaking there and naming the areas that were affected by the dump and the fires there, I kind of felt a little bit sort of emotional because I had never really thought about that in that specific way before. That people in those areas that I identify very strongly with have been adversely affected by these fires and the smoke and the toxic type of energy that spreads in the air. Is there any possibility existing now for that dump to be moved?
Well, Dr. Frank, I don't know what this EIA is going to bring, but that's why I mentioned if we remember back when it was Not in Bodden Town Bobo campaign that was launched, but they're doing an EIA on fixing a landfill. They're doing an EIA on moving away from a traditional dump to a waste-to-energy facility. And if that EIA comes back and says this is not the right location, then what are we going to do?
Yeah.
But what, I think we would prefer, we in Georgetown North, Seymour Road, we and others have to put up with the garbage trucks up and down at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, the noise that they make. And that goes on all day long. We have to put up with that at the moment, but we're also putting up now with the smoke and the smell and all the other things that come with it. So if we can get an improvement to where it's a waste energy facility that is regulated, that has a clean air filter process, then we can put up with the trucks. Those are already there. These are elements that are all already there. Perhaps if it points out, and we've already begun construction on a new road access for it, a commercial access for it. So that is a question. If the EIA comes back after a year and says this is not the right location for it, then where are we going to move it to?
Yeah. I'm thinking about that now, and it's something that I certainly will give some attention to, and I'm thanking you for actually highlighting that for me, because I think it should be a major concern for us at this particular point to see that very important challenge has not yet been met. And
absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Doc. Last caller for the morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, Minister McTaggart and Mr. Hugh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Very quickly, my question is about permanent residence and the point system. Now, I know you're not the government per se, but this isn't a new topic or a new problem. In my opinion, the point system is fundamentally flawed. And why I want to speak to while you're there is because each of you have a parent who's from Jamaica. And the system is particularly biased against Jamaicans by the mere fact that a person who submits an application, the mere fact that they were born in Jamaica or they are Jamaican, that's 0. Whereas if you were from Cuba or the Philippines, you get an automatic 100. Now, I think it's also very hypocritical of government, and I don't mean a particular administration, just the way it's set up, that it gives people the opportunity to literally buy themselves a little bit of time, because an application for a Jamaican will go in, and you know absolutely fully well they don't stand a chance. As a matter of fact, to quote a current minister who before this ran a successful immigration service, she would say, they don't stand a chance in hell of getting PR, but we can apply, we can keep appealing it, and that way you can buy yourself a couple of years. And this is a fact. Government continues to accept this. But first of all, you pay about $4,500 for the initial application. You get turned down. They give you a certain amount of time to appeal. You pay another $1,000. Subsequently, it comes back because your points didn't raise. They tell you can still appeal, and you pay another $1,000. And government continues to take this money from people, knowing that it is absolutely going nowhere. In my humble opinion, it is time to overhaul that point system because it is awful. It is actually inhumane and just too prejudiced against a particular set of people. And government just needs to stop the hypocrisy of accepting money for something that you know can't ever happen, at least not while things are the way they are. They need to change. My call is for a complete overhaul of that point system. Complete overhaul. It's just unfair, unjust, and immoral. And I thank you, and I look forward to seeing both of you at some time in the not-too-distant future.
I thank the caller for the question for it. I mean, sure. I think she does clearly highlight an issue that has existed for some time with the point system, and to me, it's like a lot of things that you have in terms of in dealing with government. People are looking for a way to get around some of these things, and I am aware of of the process that exists, and I'm also aware of the ways that she spoke of people, how they do it. They go ahead and they appeal it. Mm-hmm. But that comes at a price. There's a cost attached to it. So I would have hoped that it would have been a bit of a deterrent, but clearly it isn't for some people. And so, perhaps it is timely. I think the government had indicated, so I don't think publicly, but I've heard some statements made that revisions to the point system
I've heard the same as well.
I think likely to come forward or coming forward. So it does. We have to wait and see what they actually do and whether what they're proposing will deal with the issues that have crept into the system.
I think with anything, as we evolve, I'm sure that the persons who drafted the point system back then were well intended, but that was, 20 odd years ago now?
Yeah. Probably longer than that.
And we have evolved. But if my memory serves me, OC, perhaps you could research it and update us tomorrow. There was a court challenge that resulted in the overturning of several applications that were refused.
And
then I think what they did with occupation and nationality is that everybody gets one, they leave blank, and the other one, everyone gets
That's maximum
points.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
So they have dealt with that. I believe those were the two categories: was occupation and nationality.
And what I was going to point to also is the non-discrimination section in our Constitution, bearing in mind that when the point system was developed, that what they were looking at that point in time when it came to nationalities, trying to sort of create that balance. We knew at that point in time that the overwhelming majority of work permit holders were from Jamaica, which means that they would have a distinct advantage in just based on the numbers itself. What we have done in the future is all of our legislation, it should be that all of our legislation should now be able to pass the constitutional test and constitutional scrutiny. Otherwise, it shouldn't even be brought to the Parliament for passage. I would say that if what she has described is still there, runs contrary to Section 16 of our Constitution, that explains that in this section, discriminatory means affording different and unjustifiable treatment to different persons on grounds such as sex, color, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, or association with a national minority and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, of course, court challenges these days don't come cheap unless you afforded legal aid. But it brings it into question, and I think it is right for the government now to look at that point system to see whether or not it is fit for purpose.
There's also a lot of, and we made an attempt at it as a government, that it just never ever got to came to fruition, and that was reviewing the fees. And when you talk about, in the same vein, many years ago, the government needed revenue, and they went and looked at work permit fees, and they identified. So I had a category of work permit. This is personal in my business. It was called a chemical technician. So this was a person who went to the hotels and hooked up a laptop in some instances and checked the dispensers to make sure that X amount of ounces were going in through the dispenser. And also went and checked the dishwashers, make sure people had them, make sure there's chemical in the dishwashers and the laundries and that sort of stuff. And that turns out to be a $14, $15 an hour job. The work permit fee that they levied, and I was the only person at the time that had these persons employed. And I think back then it was a $8 an hour job, $7 an hour job. Yeah. The work permit fee, I think, is $4,200. Yeah.
Because of the title.
Because of the title, right? But the problem with that is, I won't call his name, but if he's listening, he'll know. I had a young man working for me who came to Cayman as a toddler and grew up here, played for national teams, the whole 9 yards. And his own fault, he would not get his paperwork in order, could not get his paperwork in order. Anyway, he then received his certificate. He got his residency, and he had the certificate, which as an employer I am not obligated to pay. But that certificate is tied to your work permit fee. So he is making $12 an hour and has to pay a $4,400 or $4,600, I can't remember, fee annually. So there again, raises some those were unintended consequences of these fees. And so I think that's another issue, and that's where he fell into trouble with it. When he left me, a year and a half later, he had 2 years back fees, and I had been paying them. But after he left me, he had the last year that he was with me, I didn't pay because he left. And then the first year he was with his new employer. So he was facing almost a $10,000 fee. And they had actually cancelled his residency, and I got the board to rehear it, and his employer paid for it. So these are some of the other, when we talk about some of the challenges that some on the lower end of the spectrum, including those who grew up here and only knew Cayman as their home, face with the current immigration laws.
Okay. Any final comments before you leave, gentlemen? Before we go to the next commercial break? Or you want to stay on longer?
No, I think we have to
we do need to go.
We do need to go. No, I think that's it, OC, and I'll just say thank you for having us on again. I understand and I can appreciate that I got fairly passionate in a few items this morning. And again, it's I remember Miss Georgette's words of wisdom to me 8 years ago or 10 years ago when I first ran. She said to me, the tongue is a dangerous thing. Once you say something, you can't pull it back. Yes. And so, not to upset Miss Georgette, but I was a bit passionate today. And it's not about being political or beating up the government. That is gone. We got another 3 years to go before the next election, 3.5 years to go before the next election. But these are matters that are affecting people today. And we just want clarity and attention from the government. That's it.
Okay.
Just I might chime in and just thank you again for hosting us this morning on your show. Enjoy. Always a pleasure to be here with you, OC, and wish you and the wider Cayman Islands a happy Wednesday.
Thank you very much, and the same to you as well. Thank you. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly. I believe we have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return.
Had a look at those investment options yet? Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Each Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Optical Outlook. Visit them at their new location in Anderson Square. Telephone 746-2020. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook.
During October, the Department of Children and Family Services celebrates Older Persons Month. As part of this year's theme, Digital Equity for All, the DCFS will be offering classes for those over 65 on how to better use their phones. Modern phones can do so much. Learn to take great pictures, connect and stay in touch with your loved ones, and how to take care of your banking and errands. Workshops on these topics are being held throughout the Older Persons Month at the Older Persons Active Aging Center. Please call 949-0290 to book your spot. That is 949-0290.
The nomination period for the 2022 National Heroes Day, honoring our uniformed services, has been extended by 1 week. The new deadline for submissions is now midnight, Saturday, the 23rd of October, 2021. Through your nomination, we will have the opportunity to honor the outstanding men and women of our uniformed services that help guard and protect our country. Nomination forms are available online at celebratecayman.ky, and hard copies are at the receptions of the Government Administration Building in Grand Cayman or District Administration in Cayman Brac. Only nominations received by the deadline will be considered. For more information, call 244-2426 or email nhd@gov.ky.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio at this point in time. We will have an open line for you until 10 o'clock. We do have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. I'm sorry I missed my chance with the MLAs, but I was determined to stay on, so I'm going to air what I have to say.
Sure, and I'm sure when they're getting into their vehicles, they will be tuned into Radio Cayman as well. So, I'm hopefully they will hear you.
Okay, and bear with me the point that I want to make. I could be right or I could be wrong. As you know, that there's an employment rights certificate for spouses.
Yes.
And I'm going to put it in local talk. A lot of people are saying that Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so married so-and-so, and they brought umpteen of children here. Because what that RERC certificate does is to allow them to bring the children, on that certificate, right?
Minor children.
Yeah, minor children.
Yes.
Yes. So what I'm actually saying, these children that are coming in, the mother is, let's put it like the mother is a foreigner. She has these children overseas, for their father. They're a foreigner. So I think that this is a loophole, because when they bring them here, just say 6, 7, then they stay on them till they're 18 years of age, or whenever they can apply for permanent residence or Caymanian status. And how I see it, I see a lacuna. It is a loophole in the law, because the regular way that you should apply for Caymanian status. So we have opened, I would say, the back door for another class of persons to acquire permanent residency or Caymanian status.
You're talking about the dependents, or are you talking the spouse of the Caymanian?
No, I'm talking about the dependents. They bring them here, like they just use a small age. Say they got children from 6 to say 12 or whatever before they reach 18. They have no connections to Cayman by descent. Their mother is a foreigner, or their father is a foreigner. They have married a Caymanian. Their parents are both foreigners. No connection. So I think I'm looking at it as it could be a loophole, because you're creating another class to come in and get status in your country. Because it would allow them, they've been here so long, it would allow them then to say, boy, we can apply.
But if they have been here for that length of time from such an early age, do you think that it is morally right for us to deny them the opportunity to continue to reside here and make this their home? Because literally it's probably the only home that they have known after coming here at an early age.
I know that, OC, right? I don't have a problem with the moral part. The problem that I have, if they didn't have this opportunity when the spouse gets the RERC certificate to bring those children in. I know it's
but that takes us back to another point. Should families be separated? Should they be separated when that spouse that person has married a Caymanian spouse, even though those children may not be the children of that marriage? If they are minor children under the legal control of the non-Caymanian spouse, do we believe that they should be separated? Now, bearing in mind that we have to take into account the size of the Cayman Islands and our capacity to absorb, only a limited amount of persons, even though some people are talking about a population of 100,000.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that, and thank you for mentioning that. That was my my next point. But I just aired it out there because we are not like an elastic band.
True. Yeah.
So with that, I'll hang up and give somebody else a chance.
Thank you very much. Very stimulating conversation, and those are the type that I love to engage in, because the immigration aspect of things really is more of my forte as well. We have another caller, Ms. Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, also Mr. Mamba here.
Hey, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. By the way, that lady who called, and I love that lady a lot. I know who she is.
Yes,
She's
yes.
Very insightful.
Yes, yes. I'm sure you would have had dealings with her in the past.
Oh, plenty, and we still continue to liaise on a number of issues.
Okay.
Yes, now, you see, also, I really wanted to say something about the British Virgin Islands because I think last week you had sort of like gone into that topic a little bit, but that might take a little long, so we'll have to find another occasion when I can
we may have to go to commercial break, but if if you wanted to hold on after the commercial break, if you don't complete it, if we don't have another caller on hold, we will continue to have a discourse with you.
Okay, very well. Let me first very briefly update you on my case because that's a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I got a response from the Judicial Conduct Complaint Office in the UK
mm-hmm.
when I complained against Mr. Phillips St. John, the judge, and basically what they have told me is that. They can't deal with the complaint because the event didn't happen in the UK, although the judge is also a judge in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So effectively what it means is that now all my avenues for complaining for the delay in the judgment have all been closed. I don't know where to go now because I've complained to the governor, to the AG, to the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, Anti-Corruption Commission, to the police. I could go on. I've just now reached a dead end regarding that one. However, I filed a complaint, and this is new. I filed a complaint against Mr. Justice Ian Kawali. This is now to the legal ombudsman in the UK because this is complaining about the original case and so on. But they haven't responded yet.
Okay.
So that's my update on that. So, are you ready for the BVI?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. You see, I was listening to what you were saying about the BVI. It's very, very interesting that the deputy premier went all the way to the decolonization committee and made the statement he made.
Uh-huh.
Because I think that it was preemptive, it was politically savvy to just make sure that certain things do not happen, and I think that is good for everybody in the OTs, because I think the British government has realized that what they did with the TCI to actually take it over was probably not the best, because they got accused of wanting to recolonize and so on and so forth. And some of those things, you see, are believable. Right or wrong, they are believable.
Yes.
It seems to me, with the BVI, they decided instead to have a commission of inquiry, because that way you are not taking over, you are not being accused of trying to recolonize. You look more like you are just trying to deal with the issues that are there.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, I think Cayman should watch out as well. What is happening, for example, with respect to certain aspects of the judiciary and certain other aspects in the community, we should watch out to ensure that we do not get ourselves to a point where the UK, for example, says, well, there's a problem with the judiciary in the Cayman Islands. If they can't even deliver judgments and victimize a number of people. I have got 4 or 5 other cases who have called me up and have been going through similar issues. So I just thought I should chime in on those 2 issues. Thanks very much for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Billy, as well. Stay safe and continue to keep in contact with us as well. Last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram. All of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling, Cayman.
The 9th Annual Cayman Islands District Wesleyan Youth Convention is from October 20th to the 24th at Craddock Ebank Civic Center in Northside. This year's theme is On Course with God, # Living My Best Life.
Living My Best Life.
Featuring Naomi Jonathy, Caitlin Bush, Donnie McCoy, Pastor Dolman Bodden, Donna Mitchell, Brian Watler Jr., and much, much more.
Nightly services begin at 7:30 p.m. and from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday the 23rd. Buses are available island-wide and all services will be streamed live on the Northside Wesleyan Holiness Church Facebook page.
Call Cassandra Ebanks on 925-1930 or Pastor Conway King on 916-5372 for further information. The first 25 persons to sign up will receive a free conference t-shirt compliments of Ollie.
Now, more than ever, it's imperative that we work together to protect and preserve our environment. The environment is practically asking us to stop and change. Do your part by supporting the 3rd Annual Enviro Walk and Run hosted by the Miss World Cayman Islands pageant and Girl Power Limited. The 5K walk run takes place on Sunday, October 24th at Safe Haven. Sign up on Eventpro or Race Caribbean with the entry fee only $25. Today is the perfect day to do your part to help save our environment and sign up for Enviro Walk.
COVID-19 vaccines are the only way forward in reopening our borders safely. Take the COVID-19 vaccine to protect yourself and the ones you love, especially those of us who cannot get vaccinated. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show. Miss Susan, so many announcements, a few birthdays. I have something to read to share with our listeners about one of our educational institutions in the Cayman Islands that's celebrating 80 years of existence in the Cayman Islands today as well. So we're going to close the phone lines off at this point in time. First, we have birthday greetings to Miss Rosalind Campbell, and that's coming from her dad Leroy. And I also have belated birthday greetings going out to Felipe. That's coming from his mother, Donna, and the rest of the family as well. So belated happy birthday greetings to Felipe as well. So one of our listeners wrote in and said, "Good morning. Today, CICSA School celebrates 80 years. It was the first private school to offer both elementary and secondary education in the Cayman Islands and had the first graduating class in the history of the islands in 1947, even before my time, folks. 3 of those 7 graduates are still alive. They are Miss Georgette Ebanks, Mr. Mark Panton, and Mrs. Virginia Bodden. The other 4, all now blessed memories, were Miss Darine Marin, Miss Ermin Marin, Miss Pansy Thompson, and Mr. Stacy Solomon. Congratulations to CICSA School. 80 years ago, and they're still with us. Of course, all educational institutions are experiencing challenges with COVID-19, and some, if not all, have had to resort to distance learning as well. I would add to this also the fact that the CICSA School was established and supported by the Church of God Chapel, the Marin family as well. And they were also affiliated with Anderson College or Anderson University in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I believe it is, as well. So we have some of our luminaries here in the Cayman Islands who actually attended university over there after attending CCC school as well. And of course, later down in the years, we had persons like Mr. Alan Moore, who attended CCC school, Miss Joellen Thompson, and others. As a matter of fact, Tradewinds newspaper, there are some photographs in there, but I don't have enough time to retrieve them at this point in time. But just want to say congratulations to CCC school for 80 years of service to the Cayman Islands. You've done your part in terms of moving the Cayman Islands forward as far as education and Christian learning is concerned as well. Big, big, big congratulations to CCC. Let's see, what else do we have here today also? Okay. One of our listeners also sent a WhatsApp message, and unfortunately I was unable to share that with our panel that we had from the opposition, leader of the opposition and the deputy leader, but I will read it now. And it is something that certainly we can take up later on as well. It says, good morning, gentlemen. As we are all looking towards a safe reopening, can the leader of the opposition and or the deputy share details of the reopening plan which their government had in place for implementation at the right time? So they wanted the leader of the opposition and the deputy leader to point out whether, to share the details that their government had in place for implementation at the right time. Of course, we heard them talk about the fact that they would prepare regulations, and because of input or because of maybe some error, after a press briefing, they would go back and revamp those regulations and get them in order to address some of the issues that were pointed out by others, and that was done. As far as the reopening plan is concerned, I don't have sufficient information here that I can speak to that, and of course I'm not not a spokesperson for the opposition, but when they're back on, I will certainly remember to ask that question of them as well. We're getting fairly close. I just want to say some advice to give to those persons who may be in isolation and may be having some difficulties as far as communicating or as far as getting the required resources that they need if they have run out. So we have been advised that one of the ways that you can contact the flu hotline to pass that information on to them is flu@hsa.ky, flu@hsa.ky. You can also call 1-800-534-8600 or 947-3077. I'm going to repeat those again just in case, because some people are having extremely difficult times. They have been tested. They expect to get results within 24 hours, but within that period of time, they basically have exhausted, all of their resources in terms of mainly food and things of that nature. So email the flu hotline. It's flu@hsa.ky. If you don't have the ability to email, then call the toll-free number 1-800-534-8600 or 947-3077. If you call and you get no response, try calling back. Continue, persist in your calls. Eventually someone will answer the phones. They are extremely busy, I am sure. Plus, they are not only that, but I'm sure that, like everywhere else, staffing issues may be an issue. So while we understand that you may be frustrated, we're asking you to please be as patient as possible. When you do get someone on the line, again, exercise your patience and understanding with them. And when I say that on both ends of the phone line, those who are calling for assistance and those who are assisting them as well. Patience need to be exercised on both ends, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all should be trying to help each other in a very, very difficult situations that may not have been brought about by any of your doing, but you find yourself in it, and we try to do as much as we can to assist each other as well. So that is it for me. I will be back this afternoon to guest host for Sterling Drain Ebanks again, and we're going to have, hopefully, we will have someone on talking about nutrition and health planning for a disaster. We will be talking about hurricanes and the role of the NEOC as well, and I believe that we may even have, I'm not sure whether or not that's Friday or today, that we will have someone on at 2 o'clock. But I will be back here at 12:15 for a talk today. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Drain Ebanks at 12, or join me covering for Sterling Drain Ebanks at 12:15. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
Today